Well, Jack, going off of that, you mentioned that this team was a good team, was going to come in here and fight. This Pistons team did do that. What was it in those closing minutes that allowed you guys to come with the win?
Yeah, I didn't sleep very well last night, anticipating how tough this game was going to be. Just knew with their coaching staff, they had some guys that were healthy, enduring, being able to help them down in the middle. It was going to be a tall task for us. And anytime you're playing a team back-to-back like that, really tough to do, knowing that both teams searching for a win. I give our guys an extreme amount of credit to persevere throughout the course of the night and show composure to make the right plays at the right time and poise. Different individuals, amazingly, throughout the course of the night that made plays. But after our start, that could easily make you relent, and we didn't. And for us to stay together, for many guys to step up throughout the course of the night across the board, I think that's a huge win for us.
What did you call in those last few minutes where you had Cam Johnson knock the big-time three, Dorian Finney-Smith knock the big-time three? You saw your reaction of excitement of saying that was it.
It was great. Just execution-wise, our guys have really grown to understand concepts and what we want to get done on specific plays, and the execution was high level. And even the discipline where Cam Johnson drives baseline and Doe stays at home, stays locked and loaded in the corner and gets rewarded for it.
You talked about Doe's discipline. I mean, I think he plays every second of that fourth quarter. What kind of faith at this point has he built up with you that you have trust in him that he's going to make those kind of plays down the stretch that you leave him in for that entire fourth?
Yeah, I think he knows how I value him and how we value him as an individual and the plays that he can make. He's done them before. There's a certain amount of poise that you have to have at the end of the game. And he took on the challenge of guarding Cade also at the end of the game. So, we needed him on both ends. We needed just a big body to guard Cade, who is a really big guard. And for Doe to be able to do that, but also give us something on the offensive end of the floor, that balance that he, presents, and it was great. That second unit was awesome. We needed them in the end of the first and the second quarter to give us some life, and he was a part of that, and they did.
Dede, I think, had 5 rebounds in that fourth quarter.
Oh, man.
Felt like he had more, but just his effort kind of was part of that second unit you just spoke of. What was it about him where you just saw him kind of assert himself rebounding-wise with the 4 blocks, just his play tonight? What did you think about him?
It's just great to see him be able to string and stack days and games up back-to-back. Just shows his maturity. You have to be prepared to play. You have to do your homework and be prepared to play, and he's been doing that. He has an ability to rebound the basketball, and there's a toughness that's about him that we need on a lot of nights, just because he's a big dude, and we need a big dude in the middle to push and grab rebounds and set screens and be okay doing that. He isn't complicating things, and I think that's the best lesson learned right now. You keep it simple, do the things that you do really well, and you'll continue to get minutes.
I guess what do you attribute the slow start to in this game? Obviously, Detroit came out inspired, but just on your guys' end, what did you see that maybe you guys weren't executing as well as you wanted to?
No, I think they just hit first, and that started with they were picking up full court. There was a want and a desperation from that group that we saw early. Good thing we didn't panic. We stayed together and gave us a chance to get back in the game. But give them credit for really coming out and trying to hit first.
With this game, I know you mentioned that it's tough to play the same team 2 games in a row, especially with the Pistons teams and everything that's centered around them. What impressed you just with your group and balancing the outside conversation when it comes to not allowing that losing streak to snap against them?
Yeah, it's a huge statement, I think, because there is, and obviously there is outside noise, and with guys with social media and being on their phones, they hear it, see it. I did, in all honesty, but I think going into this game, we were really concerned about us getting better, and we've tried to keep it that simple. I think tonight we got better as a basketball team, making plays together, guys stepping up, figuring things out together. So at the end of the day, for us, if we keep it that simple, we'll get rewarded for it.
Are there things that you learned from this game, and you were talking about before the game, talking about gathering all your data. Are there things that you learned from this game that you can apply when you're making your decisions on lineups and rotations and so forth and so on?
No, I think that it's a culmination of things. So, I mean, you can't take one game. So if you took one game, then you would be starting Day'Ron tonight. You know, because Day'Ron played so well tonight that he would deserve to start the next night. So it's the combination of what's going to be best for the group. I love that second group and their ability to have a fight about them and bring an activity level that really I put up against any other second team in the league. That's how much confidence I have in that group. And so tonight I changed the rotations a little bit to get a little bit of taste of that. We got a little bit of Mikal not on the floor with CT at the same time. So I did tinker a little bit, Brian. Probably ran Nick and Day'Ron a little longer stretches to see what that looked like. They both were able to make it through it and had an impact. So I'm always trying to push the group. And I think you learn about guys, whether that is Doe playing the entire fourth quarter, whether that is Day'Ron playing 9 minutes straight. Those things you learn about guys, and I continue to reward them and continue to put things on the plate for sure.
What have you learned about your two bigs when you have two guys who are very versatile, like Nick Claxton, who's starting, then you have Day'Ron, who's proved for his minutes as well? What's it like just to have those two at the same time?
It's been interesting. You take, there's no hesitation when I substitute those dudes for each other. And whether that the opposing team has a starting center on the floor or a backup center, I think they've learned how to play for each other, really cover for each other, and not want to let each other down. Looking on the sidelines, you can see them cheering for each other. And that's pretty cool as teammates. I really do think they want each other to do well.
Is this another example of you guys playing so many close games that the poise is growing now where you trust these guys to not get rattled as easily as maybe game one, I guess?
For sure. They were looking for me to call a timeout, like 8-minute mark when they went on a little run. Go play. We've done this thing before. And so no timeout was called. I want our guys to lean into those moments. That pressure moment, lean into that thing, accept it, and you'll get better from it.
Another back-to-back situation.
Megan.
I don't want to, but it's tomorrow. You've done this before, as you mentioned. Just as a group, do you feel like this group is more prepared from everything that you've seen these last few weeks, handling back-to-backs now as you guys got to go home and take home
a lot of minutes, more than probably wanted to get to, but this was a win that we had to have tonight. Hopefully our guys aren't banged up too much, going to this game. Everyone wasn't feeling very well. Virus and colds and everything going around. Some banged up bodies a little bit, so we'll get those dudes assessed and see what we look like tomorrow.
There's nobody that you know would be sitting though against the Bucks. Like there's nobody that you know already that they're not going to play the second night.
I have not told a single player that you're not playing tomorrow. No.